The fourth candidate to jump into the race for governor here in Michigan, Genesee County Sheriff Chris Swanson, who joins Jocelyn Benson as in the Democratic side of things. Of course, we have running as an independent Mayor Mike Duggan, and on the Republican side, State Senate Leader Eric Nesbitt. Sheriff, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Why do you want to be governor?
It's always the first question, and I think, in my perspective, I've been helping and serving people for 32 years on their worst days of their life, and it's as simple. I love to help people, and I want to do it on the grand stage.
Did I hear you say you've been thinking about this for 5 years, or you knew 5 years ago, which predates you being sheriff, correct?
Right. Well, I say that because every leader should have a vision of where they're going and,
Sure.
and embrace where you're at. But look, is there a greater opportunity? I've said it for many years. If I have a great opportunity to help more people, I'm going to do it. So this has been a long time in the making, and timing is everything.
I heard a soundbite at your kickoff in about this state sheriff initiative.
Yeah.
Explain that a little bit. It almost sounds like you expect people to be able to pick up the phone, talk to the sheriff who might call you as governor.
That's going to be the plan and the offer. It's called the Sheriff Service Network. When you talk about Protect, Serve, and Unify, that service part is servant leadership. People need to see Lansing and government as a help center, and that means accessibility. And I know if you try to get some things done or get some answers, it's kind of hard. It's websites and it's different voicemail phone trees. So I thought, in building this out, what makes the most sense? People come to me all the time for help, but I don't always have the access. But if we could use that sheriff as the pivot point all over the state, there's 83 sheriffs, say if you have an issue, go see the sheriff. The sheriff can either help you, and if they can't, they can call somebody in Lansing. They'll have a sign ambassador. In between the governor's office and the sheriff, we got your back.
Well, this job would require you to be a little more political. Do you expect Republican sheriffs to go along with that?
I work with them already.
All right.
I mean, I've done ghost operations, which is our human trafficking, in 64 of the 83 counties in the state of Michigan. And I never ask, are you willing to do a ghost operation, but what is your political party? I work with everybody. And sheriffs, that's what we do. We answer 911 calls, and we don't ask questions.
Last go-around, we had some newer candidates get in and stumble with gathering those signatures, and it turned out they never even made it onto the ballot. What are you doing to make sure your operation is going to be able to withstand the long haul? You have 2 years ahead of you now.
Well, if there's one thing I know, it's about building great teams at the sheriff's office. We're a big county, and I have to build out divisions. Behind your cameras are the team that's going to make sure that is done well and it's done with confidence. There's no issue with us doing it right.
Do you have a singular issue that you want to run on that you think is going to connect most with Michiganders?
Yeah, energy and positivity. I think people are excited, and they're also exhausted with anything negative. So the platform of Protect, Serve, and Unify, it is showing people that you can do that and stay positive.
Well, the energy you will need, and we'll see. There's no shortage of that, that's for sure. Recent numbers have shown Michigan students' basic skills in math and reading are on the decline, not to mention the proficiency level is not good as well. And Governor Whitmer is spending more per pupil. How are you going to tackle Michigan's education problem? Because clearly right now throwing more money at that is not working.
Well, I can tell you, I've been on faculty at University of Michigan for 27 years. I understand education. Most people don't realize that I've been an educator. And when I know if you're going to solve something, bring those involved at the table. So if we're going to raise this up, it's not more money all the time. It's about getting the people there together and say, okay, where are the gaps, and let's fill them. I believe that there's great schools out there, great districts. We just have a few things we got to shift, and we'll be on the upside. I can promise you it'll be addressed and fixed.
What about the money per pupil? We're at an all-time high now. Can you do some of that without increasing what you're spending?
Absolutely, because in government, many times, and I think you might agree that when government sees a problem, they think throwing more money at it's going to solve it. That's not always the answer, because ultimately you and I are paying for it. Let's see if we can fix it with the money we have.
In Detroit schools, that's kind of what they're doing, which some people disagree with, although it's helping attendance. They're getting gift cards for perfect attendance, and it's increasing kids being there, but also some people say you're just bribing kids, it's not going to work.
It's called incentivizing on meritocracy. I built it in the jail with Ignite. Ignite is our education model in the jail, and we teach those that are locked up. I don't send letters to judges or advocate, but I incentivize them by saying, if you do your part, you will be recognized. A bag of chips, a can of pop, or even a full graduation. You understand, everybody wants to be incentivized. Everybody wants to be recognized. Sometimes it's just that little push to say, you did a great job. And that's what it takes. It's not bribery. It's the right thing to do.
That did feel good just now.
There you go.
So if you win and you become governor, you're certainly fair to say you won't have a partner in the White House for the first couple of years. You were at the Democratic National Convention and campaigned for Donald Trump's opponent. If Michigan has a problem, a disaster that needs national help, how will you navigate that?
I'll make it clear that anybody in leadership has to work for the good of the people they represent. I've done it as a sheriff, and I'll do it as a governor. That means that if it's something that goes against Michigan and the people are here, I'll stand up, push back, and I'll have a reason to do it. But you have to work with your partners. I mean, you talk about education. A significant amount of our funding for education comes from the federal government.
Right.
When it comes to Medicaid, from the federal government. You can't just isolate yourself. We have to work together. And I think, honestly, this first push that's happening at the White House, I think it's going to settle down. I'm hopeful. It takes good leadership. Governor Whitmer said that I'm going to work with the White House for the good of the state. If it works for Michigan, I support it. I'm going to work with it. If it doesn't, I'm going to push back.
Just to play devil's advocate, there's a chance the Department of Education won't be there. There's a chance FEMA won't be there. There's been talk from the White House about that. If you don't have those funds or those resources, how do you network to get those? Go to other states?
Well, again, you got to walk a mile to see a mile. Let's see if that even happens. But I can tell you this. People in elected positions, state and national, they're not going to turn their backs on where the disaster need is. If that happened, I think it would be a radical decision because the people still need help. And we're going to find ways to do it. If that happens, there's going to be other options.
Last thing, I'll let you go on this. You never held political office. I run and won for sheriff a couple of times. How do you feel going to Lansing? Now you have to deal with a legislature that might not be on your side. Is that an advantage or disadvantage?
Well, what makes me unique is I can find common ground with anybody. Even as a sheriff, you mentioned 2 elections. We're a big county, 5th largest in the state. And I've been able to get 2 huge crossover votes from Republicans and independents to put me in as Democratic sheriff. And sheriffs work with the legislative board, a county board, and I work with judges. So the 3 branches of government I've worked under for 32 years. All we're doing is scaling up. It's going from one franchise to a large franchise. No problem whatsoever. I'm ready for it.